sex is the best. And like, it is the best. Growing up, I was like, sex is bad, sex is bad, sex is bad. At least for me, I was so naive, even in dating, that I didn't realize that there were all these other things between kissing and sex.
There's the height and the passion and the romance, and all of that can be a good part of it, but that really can't sustain over time. What sustains over time is just this friendship, this affection that we want to hang out together, and we actually enjoy being around each other.
We had a conversation on our third date, actually, about physical boundary. It is a little awkward because culture tells you, like, if someone likes you romantically, they're going to be more physical with you. So I haven't, as a non-physical touch person, had nights of insecurity of like, wait, you didn't kiss me. We waited a while to even have our first kiss and like had that very, I think some people think awkward conversation beforehand of like, you have permission to kiss me. And then he asked me like one night, like, do you want it to be tonight? And I was like, no. And to be secure enough to know like, this isn't a rejection of you, because this is a part of our relationship we have to monitor in a healthy way, because we're not sure if we're gonna end up together forever. And it is like an intimacy builder. And it is something that can kind of corrupt our ability to be sober-minded as we're together and like get to know each other as like people and as friends, and not just from a more physical sense.
I think you asked me to be your girlfriend, and I said yes, and then you said, can I kiss you? And I said no.
And I was pumped. Honestly, I was pumped. I felt like you holding those boundaries actually made it easier for me as well to be at peace about it and not have there be anything weird or clouded about it, just to be like, oh, okay, great, well, we'll just keep hanging out then.
Yeah, so to have conversations about values is really important. So for example, why am I here? What is the purpose of marriage? If the purpose of marriage is self-fulfillment, that's quite a different thing than mutual fulfillment and mutual sacrifice.
If the most important thing is that I feel fulfilled, I would want to expose that.
Yeah, and I think when you're dating, those differences, like we said, don't come out as fast as they do later on. But one way that you can allow the differences to come out is to not become sexually intimate. Because once you do, there's a strong bond that masks the differences. But if you want more information as to your differences and how you operate in life, then I would say take it slowly when you're dating.
If you are a virgin, celebrate that. Walk in your virginity. Don't let the world and all the messages that come in that say, no, just give that up, it's not worth it, you can have a lot of fun. Don't buy into that, because Nate and I were lucky in that we did keep ourselves pure.
We did.
And when you do that, your sexual life together is so fun, because the only person that ever enters your mind is your man.
Right.
But then let me just say, because it's so hard today to do that, many of you may have already crossed that line. I can't tell you how many women that I've known that will say, sometimes I'm now married, but I have this past and I'm sleeping next to my husband, and for a minute I don't know if it's my husband or someone else for a second. That's a reality that happens in our minds when we've had other partners. But God can be in that. Talk that through with your husband. Cry out to God. He can remove that, and over time I believe He will bring complete healing to that. But purity is a huge part of marriage, and it builds trust.
Our wedding night was special in as much as we had waited, and it was worth it. And I think I'm always careful to say, for someone who hasn't waited or has that past, it doesn't mean you can't find that redemption.
Totally.
But I just want to advocate for what we experienced was really special and was really wonderful. There was nothing to compare it to. It was just us. It was an intimate and beautiful moment, and we really treasure that moment.
I think a really healthy part of my relationship with God has been talking to God about sex, not just shutting thoughts or feelings down. Like, yes, we're called to take every thought captive. And especially if we're in a relationship where we see someone and we begin to like lust after people or have thoughts that aren't honoring to God, like, yes, but also not becoming so discouraged to the point of like condemning our make. We are sexual beings, and God actually made that to be really good and a really healthy part of like relationship with another person.
So keep yourself pure and make that commitment to a second virginity if that's what you need to do. But walk that out, because God has such an amazing plan for our lives and for our marriages in the area of sexual fulfillment, and it's a blast. But it's freedom.
True freedom,
Yeah.
comes from following God's plan.
Yeah.